Today on Penny Dreadful, we talk about the Season 3 finale, The End. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hello, AfterBuzzers. Welcome back to AfterBuzz TV. We are here doing the Penny Dreadful Season 3 finale. Oh my goodness. So much to talk about. I'm your host, Marisa Serafini. Joining me, I have...
Hi, I'm Joelle Monique. You can find me everywhere on the internet at Joelle Monique.
Hey guys, it's Renee Ariel, and you can find me on Instagram and on Twitter at Renee Ariel.
Oh my goodness, embrace this music because it might be the last time we hear it. Oh, the finale. So much happens.
Ooh.
Really quickly, what were your thoughts, Joelle? Let's start with
Strong choices from the writers. Super strong. Amazing decisions that I never would have guessed, and I'm sitting here in shock as we were talking about before we came on mic. Wow, bold, brazen.
Very.
I know, I'm still really sad. It was completely unpredictable, and I'm a little speechless.
Yeah, I think the only word that I have in my vocab right now that I can process is what?
Right?
Is this real life?
It just... I can't.
I'm literally speechless. I don't know what to say because, I mean, it was a great episode. We'll just preface this whole after show with that. It was a great 2 episodes. Special 2-episode finale. Beautifully shot as well.
Oh, yeah.
Acted, writing, everything. I mean, this show just has literally, it fires on all cylinders. Favorite characters, a lot. And it's just the way it ended. We'll get to it. It was just very morose. And that's not what you want with a finale.
I know.
And yet we are watching Penny Dreadful.
Yes.
And I feel
Very
like
true.
I don't know if I ever felt anyone was going to walk into the sunset and live happily ever after.
But you can have hope.
I did hope. I certainly did do that.
Let's hope for that. Shout out to Angela Struck, who unfortunately could not join us for this finale.
Miss you.
But yes, so follow her on Twitter at the Angela Struck. Let's just start it off with John Clare. One of the most, well, all these stories are fairly sad, but he had a really sad story. His son, still sick, unfortunately, passes away.
That was depressing, but expected. Just, oh my gosh, poor John Clare. He just got his son back.
And there was a moment at dinner when they're talking about their future, and there's like color in the boy's cheeks. And you're like, no, Jake is going to be okay. Like, he's doing it. And then he just starts hacking up. And you're like, that's
that was
it.
Bad when he just kept coughing up blood.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
And he couldn't even, like, sit at the table anymore. Like, I was like, that's it. That's over. And then, of course, we have that just John waking up as Jake is passing. It was greatly shot, but a horrible moment.
It was just a really sad build-up because we see in the first episode where they're having their nice, sweet family dinner, and there's that false hope that everything's going to be okay. John Clare's, like, planning things for the future for them to be happy and together. Then he starts coughing, and we're like, no, John Clare, you are just a little too hopeful right now.
I know.
And unfortunately, in the second episode, he wakes up, and literally his last breath, and just John Clare just starts crying, and it was really sad. To finally get your family, your wife and your son back together, and he passes away.
I know, and it was so late in the season that he finally found them. And he first confronted his wife, and then, technically confronted his son first, but not really. Had the relationship develop after seeing his wife and getting back in touch. But, it just happened. This just happened.
So close.
Okay. Yes. Were you surprised with Marjorie, the wife, wanting to have Victor Frankenstein revive the son?
No, not at all.
Not surprised. I just don't like that she made an ultimatum. I don't like that she was like, well, then just don't come back. I really didn't like that line.
I think that as a grieving mother, I think that given time, they say nothing compares to the loss of a child. And I think that there is nothing she wouldn't do to get her son back, and to know that there was an option and not know the consequences of that option, to not fully understand what she was asking him to do. I felt for her in that moment. Truly, like, we have an option and you're not using it, and I can't understand why you won't let my son be with me anymore. This doesn't make sense to me.
Right, and I'm glad that John Clare was like, no, you don't know the life he's going to live if we do that, because he's living a tortured life, and he does not want that for his son. He doesn't want the loneliness and the sad, unfortunate fate that he will suffer if he does bring back his son, because his son's not going to be the same person that he was when he died.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it also doesn't help the fact that the wife didn't see his first few months after turning into, well, what he is now, and that struggle he went through before realizing who he even was. But, just that ultimatum, man. John lost not just his kid, but his wife as well.
His whole family in one fell swoop. Like, Jesus. Heavy.
Yeah, so we see him, unfortunately, wrap his son and actually set him off to the sea, or to the ocean. And because, again, I'm glad John Clare didn't. It's like, no. We're going to properly bury him in that way. But do you think Margie would take him back?
I think given time, perhaps, once she... Because I think she would probably hear him out, and that this is not going to be a fulfilling or ever a happy life for him, and like now he's at peace. But I mean, we don't know her very well, and for so long she's had to fight and make sure that her son is not only alive but fed and has some kind of heat, and for that fight to just be over, she may carry that grudge forever.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell. I do agree, because we don't know her character that well. You'd hope that eventually she'll come around, because John Clare needs somebody to love.
God.
Especially now.
And he deserves it. Why, writers?
Why?
Damn you.
And he lost a friend, too, so we'll get to that. But, okay, so anything else about John Clare? Other than rest in peace, his son.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Oh, I thought his the burial was really appropriate for John's character. I like that he took him
that he was like
to
hiding
sea.
away and then came at the end. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean the burial of his son when he brings him to the sea, and I thought that's kind of where he met his end. It's where he found kind of the most solace. It's where he went to go find himself before he came back. I like that that's the place where he decided to let his son go. I thought that was really appropriate.
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was sad. But I just want a happier storyline for John Clare. He's lived such a sad life since we've had him. I just only hope there's, a better future for him. All right, so let's move on to Dorian and Lily. Oh, they're the couple of the month. Jesus.
Oh my gosh.
What a mess.
So we see... Lily's actually with Victor and Jekyll and whatnot, and all that goes down. But let's start with Lily, pretty much, with Victor and Dorian. Were you surprised that Victor let Lily go?
No, because of the story she told. No, I did, because he is, to be sorry, I do believe he's kind of a weak link in a sense where. He's not a complete sociopath. He can kind of, he does have control issues, for sure. He's a control freak. But at the same time, he is very emotional, gets very attached to people, and overall wanted Lily back because he has all of these feelings for her that she doesn't have in return. So I did see him being weak. I just, with where we left off last episode, or 2 episodes ago, I guess, with Lily just being really angry. That's why I didn't see it happening, or him letting her go, just because of where she was mentally.
Yeah, we kind of talked about this as we were watching the show. This is a return to old Victor, the kind of guy we knew, I want to say, between, later half season 1 to about the end of season 2, where we get, a guy who is really trying to connect to people, and he's so kind of shy and introverted that he doesn't really know how, but is genuinely a good, is a good human being. He just wants to have, he wants to achieve great scientific, prosperity. And so, no, I wasn't really shocked by that moment. And I was glad that he could finally see her as a person and not as, his wife, his creation. I don't know.
Yeah.
His partner. Okay, what did we see? An amazing acting moment from, oh my God, Billie Piper. She's fantastic.
I know.
Stunning.
I mean, she was just, I mean, Emmy for her, seriously.
That was a
But her
beautiful
whole
speech.
story about her daughter.
So sad, but I'm so glad they revisited that and didn't just leave us with the grave saying Sarah and us being unsure if it's her daughter or sister or what. But what a sad story, and explains so much of her anger. So much. Like, this definitely is probably the start of so much, because she felt she was so angry at herself and then lashed out on others.
Yeah, particularly
men.
the kind of the
Yeah.
finding in her attacker like people that resembled him, any kind of John, any man who's overly aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, just melts your heart. Like, just how to come back to that, to know that you know, were raped and then beaten, and then come back to find that you couldn't protect your child. It gives so much clarity to all of Lily's previous actions, and I think makes going back to Dorian that much worse. To go back to see, like she says, like another daughter dead.
But she didn't even go back to see Dorian. She probably went back to go see her
army?
daughters, her army, whatever you want to call them. And, of course, see Dorian. But it wasn't... I was thinking that when she went to go see Dorian and the women, that she would be angry with Dorian and want revenge, but it was such just like a broken down, vulnerable Lily that we saw.
Yeah, she definitely, I feel like she was like, I don't want to hate anymore. It takes so much energy to be that angry and that mad, and once that bubble is kind of burst, I think, you know, you have to start looking at, like, how do I want to keep going forward? Which kind of another theme of the show, these last few shows, is, like, how do you move forward? Like, what's your life after death?
So is she as redeemable as we think?
I think
is
so.
she
She's
very redeemable?
Oh, yeah.
I think that was honestly her breaking point, telling that story, because it was something we'd never heard that. We didn't even know she had a daughter until we kind of assumed so a few episodes to go. Yeah. And on top of it, it was finally like the root to everything of like all of her anger, and it made so much sense. It's crazy because even in season 1, when she wasn't Lily, she was
Brona.
Yes, we didn't know too much about Brona aside from, I guess, when we saw her and Chandler together. So it's so crazy that all of this was going on then, and that's what she was hanging on to this whole time.
Yeah, I think it's one story that definitely makes her redeemable, but one story that still makes her human.
Yeah.
Because we've seen from her disintegration from the end of season 2 to practically this whole season that she's very beast-like, she's very animalistic. And is she really a monster, or is she a person? And I think this episode really, in the storyline, the way that they tied it up, shows that she's really just a human being.
Yeah, I agree.
Very sad.
So sad.
I mean, all these stories are so sad. But we see Dorian actually, you know, so fortunately Victor lets her go. So good on Victor. But then she goes back to Dorian. And what do we think of Dorian and Lily's relationship now that this happens?
I mean, over, but
Definitely.
Yes.
but wow, I just really don't like Dorian. And but I love that she walked out and he was like, "You'll be back." Like, what, like a line to say after someone breaks up with you?
right?
Well,
How about the whole conversation of the, you know, his story of being, because of his portrait, he's immortal, and this is the price that he has to pay. The fact that he has to live every single day pretty much as a dead person who has no semblance of life anymore. He lost his passion and his drive. Now he's just living day in.
I like
day
that we
out.
finally get to the heart of Dorian, though. Like, we finally get to see, like, what is making him tick for these past 3 seasons is the fact, like, I'm the living dead. I don't connect to you. I can't love you. I can't do anything but feed, like, desire as it kind of comes up. But I don't have passion for anything. I don't have love for anything.
well, that's why, like, I didn't connect to that whole speech. I mean, it was just kind of like a sociopath going on about
'Cause
how
he is.
yeah, but that's why, like, I didn't feel any sympathy towards him. When you say the story, just right now with actual, like, emotion in your tone, it's so sad. But the way he said it, no matter what words came out of his mouth, I saw no emotion, which was explained in the speech. But I just don't like his character because there's nothing there.
And
He's hard
this
to
actually
connect
made
to.
me like him
Really?
again. Yeah, not as a person, but as a character. I was like,
yeah.
oh, I get this now, and I totally understand. And I do think Lily will be back. Not in the next year, probably if Lily is immortal, give it 500 years. Give it 500 years of roaming the earth, of looking for something unique, of trying to discover, like, of trying to change the world, and seeing that the world doesn't really change all that much. My guess is she goes back to Dorian, not as hopeless, I understand you.
Okay.
But do you think she's going to try to go back to change the world, or do you think after she kind of had that realization with Victor just saying, the one thing I don't want you to take away from me is this memory of my daughter, and then goes to Dorian, leaves Dorian, kind of leaves that whole thing behind, do we think she's going to try to start a new revolution, or do you think she's just going to try to live her life?
I think in a different way. I don't think it's going to be guns blazing, let's slice off heads. I think she'll find... Yeah.
Pile of hands right here.
Exactly. But I think that it's clearly a great leader. I think she makes really great connections, specifically with women, and there's a lot of ways that, especially at that time, that you could help women in need. I think she'll go on trying to lead a revolution in that way, and being more, like, I don't want to say nurse, but, like, you know, suffragettes, or even like helping run an orphanage so that other girls don't have to go through what she had to go through to make their way, or maybe she could become a teacher. There's a lot of ways she could.
Like actually use it for positive women influence.
She has so many good qualities to put on a job resume. Like, she can figure something out, but it's just a matter of what she wants to do.
Yeah, but my question is, now hearing both, you know, Lily's story and Dorian's lament more so, do you think both of them have the drive to still keep living? Do you want them to, or like, do you think that they want to keep living?
Yeah.
It seemed like Lily did, because she didn't want Victor to kill her. She didn't try to say anything along those lines. She really didn't want to lose those memories and hang on to it. But I'm not sure where that's going to go from there. It wasn't clear. With Dorian, I mean, yeah, he doesn't care. He's just living his life. He's beautiful. It doesn't age. Doesn't matter.
I think Dorian's grown accustomed to his position, and I think he likes the world from this place. It keeps him very safe. He doesn't have to engage. He doesn't have to, like, worry about being hurt. Nothing can hurt him because, you know, like, even with Lily, like, the one person who could probably meet him halfway on anything, like, the only other immortal he's ever met, the only one who's, like, carried his same bloodlust. As she leaves, he's like, oh, well, no, you'll be back. Clearly you're hurting, dude. Clearly. And you're just like, no, it's fine. I'm aloof.
Fades.
Yeah.
I know. But you know what? The line he said to Justine, though, where, I don't know if it was, I've met hundreds of lilies, or in my time I've seen 1,000 lilies. Right there. It doesn't seem like she's of much importance to him. So I just see him kind of, it's more of his ego being like, you'll be back. Because she's still alive. And why wouldn't she be with him? They're both immortal. But
yeah. Okay. So you quickly mentioned Justine. Goodbye, Justine. We won't miss you.
I will.
I loved her.
We love Justine.
It was you and Angela.
Okay.
All
right.
Team Justine.
So I'll speak on behalf of this side of the table. I'm so glad he snapped her neck.
Oh no!
And I mean, Joelle, you saw me. I was like,
no, you're really excited about it.
I called
that
10 seconds before that happened. So.
See, and Justine's final words are why I love her. Like the whole, I loved her.
I won't miss her.
See, I didn't even felt for her. I just, like, in that moment, I understood her. Like, I get, like, she was like, I have a chance to be something else. I have a chance to take everything that's been done to me and push it back on other people. And though that is selfish and completely and totally wrong, I just understood where she was coming from, and I liked seeing her take some of her power back. And even when faced with death, she was just chin up, like, I'm fine with that, but I'm not going back to the life I lived before. I love Justine, and I will miss her immensely.
I think she had a great line, like, I'd rather die on my feet than live a lifetime on my knees.
Yeah. Ugh. I will say in that one moment I did like Dorian, because, okay, when last week when we were talking about, he's just going to kill her, I was not expecting it to go down like this. Even though he has no emotion, he was going to let those ladies live. He was going to let even Justine, who's pushed his buttons the whole time since they've met, he was going to let her live as well. But she pushed and pushed and pushed and said she didn't want to live anymore. And that's why he did it. Well, for sure. But, I mean, she asked for it, which was weird. Which I get, but... I mean, girl, like, maybe Lily would come back. Like,
I was surprised at how reluctant he was to kill her, which to me says he saw a little something in her. Like, I don't think that he particularly liked her, but I think her spirit and her tenacity was intriguing to him as why he saved her in the first place. But there were so many options. I thought he would just kill her immediately. But she stood up to him like 3 or 4 times before she was like, you can either kill me or let me stay here, but I'm not going back. And that's when he made his decision. So I don't know. I kind of applauded Dorian in that moment of being like, that to me
You're
showed a
done.
little bit of humanity.
You're done. I applauded Dorian when he literally let all the women go.
I know.
Yeah.
I love when he's like, get out.
Yeah, and I called that too. I'm like, get out.
You should.
I did. I called a lot of things. So I'm glad the women, unfortunately, they don't really have anywhere to go. But maybe this just like getting rid of these women will just start a whole nother storyline for Dorian. I'm hoping for the future, you guys. I really am. We'll get to it so much. But, let's rewind a little bit back to Victor and Jekyll. We saw their relationship kind of on the rocky end, their bromance more so. Jekyll's father died, and he gains his inheritance and his estate and his title.
Lord Hyde. Oh my goodness.
So what do you think this will do for Jekyll, his character? Because we didn't see him beast out as Mr. Hyde in this season, which I was kind of hoping for, but we didn't.
I know, me too. I don't know, because where they left it off, I don't know. I don't know if his storyline will continue, but they couldn't have just done that for no reason to tease us, right?
I mean, that his storyline is what gives me hope. Like, you brought in, first of all, world-class actor, like, stunning, so pretty. And then,
So pretty. Excellent
so
voice.
pretty. And then you kind of give us a little leeway into what might happen, because we know, he takes over his lordship, he's going to continue his medical practices. We know eventually where his storyline's going, so again, if they do end it here, okay, we got enough. On the other hand, I would like to see that MF just become very wealthy and just like, again, yeah, like totally just like hide out and be amazing. And I like him a lot.
Happy
And I
at
think his
Bedlam?
storyline, all of it. His story is so cool. It'd be really cool to see it continued. But if not, I can fill in the gaps in here.
It's all about the imagination,
Right?
folks.
That headcanon, it's important.
I think we didn't see enough of Victor of this season, of his character, of his storyline, just in general, the iconography of, Mr. Hyde and Jekyll. I just wanted, I think it was an interesting ending, because we know, like, his father played a big part into Jekyll and Hyde's split personality.
Mm-hmm.
And now that the father's gone, I don't even think we're going to see that. If he gained his inheritance and that's it. I mean, he had it.
But the effect has already been made, and if we know anything about the time period and these sorts of characters, he feels he has won. He is going to be so sorely disappointed. High society is not going to accept him any more than they have to. Like, he may have to be let into certain parties, but, I'm sure he'll be shunned and there will be whispers, and he's not going to find it anywhere near as satisfying as he believes it to be. There's a lot more story to tell along those lines of him
Maybe he'll
aggressively
get a spin-off.
Yeah, I mean, I will
Right?
watch that show, Showtime. If you want to bring me just that, I will be there for you.
Absolutely. I agree. I think just knowing we had the character of Jekyll and Hyde in this season, I think it was a very missed opportunity on their part to see that.
I agree.
We didn't see his lashing out, and I don't think we will, unfortunately. So, okay, let's move on to the gang. Like, pretty much the whole sum of the last episode. So the gang's all back, finally,
Gang's all
in
back.
London.
With two special guests,
Oh, snap.
Dr. Seward.
Dr.
Thank
Seward.
God.
Oh, I was so happy when she came knocking on the door. Where's Vanessa?
First of all, great comedic moment of all these
It
people
was.
being like, "Where's Vanessa?
I know.
Who is this chick? Why is she here?"
I lost track of how many times people asked where's
Vanessa,
Vanessa,
I
know.
in these episodes, because literally everyone's asking where's Vanessa, and the fact that Vanessa wasn't even part of the first part, but she only showed up for about 5 minutes of the last part. I'm not okay with that.
Me neither.
I'm
The whole
so
time.
not okay with that.
I thought when we had the first episode of the two-part finale, I was like, okay, so they're gonna do an episode without Vanessa, and then the next episode's gonna be like all Vanessa.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't.
It wasn't. But
It was very little Vanessa. to
Very
be
little
frank.
Vanessa.
yeah,
It was one scene, guys. One scene.
it was. We'll get to it too before we jump ahead. Beginning of this episode, real quickly, the title sequence. completely different.
So different. That made
Same
me
music.
already worried off the bat. I was like, they're changing
Why
something
are
else.
they changing?
I mean, I liked it, but at the same time, I knew this was not a good thing.
It was a stunning introduction. It was so cinematic in its portrayal of this woman just kind of singing to her baby and putting, after we had just learned about Lily's situation, and to see, and beautiful voice, by the way.
Oh my God, so good.
And then that like long like pan out, and then to move just like gently into the credits.
Yeah.
You kind of, it really set the tone for what was about to happen, and I thought it was excellent.
And depressing.
Absolutely. I think it really set up for what we were about to. It was a good foreshadowing, more so. Like, though there was one particular line that stood out. When your time here on earth is true, beautiful place we call heaven, is it true? Please God, I pray that it's true. So just the whole idea of going to heaven, is it real? Death and then going to heaven.
I know.
What?
A depressing lullaby for a baby trying to go to sleep.
The British.
Like, we're probably not going to live that. They say that line of like, we're not going to live till we're old. It was very depressing, very Penny Dreadful.
Very much in the vein of Penny Dreadful.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Seward is there.
Oh,
Ethan and Catanay and Sir Malcolm are back at the mansion. I love how they all just like split up. Like, you don't ever tackle something by yourself.
I know.
Have you not learned this? You finally are all back together,
And
but
you're
then
like,
you
"Nope,
go off
let's
by
go our
yourself.
separate ways."
Again. Let's talk about Dr. Seward and Sir Malcolm and Renfield doing that whole pretty much cognitive interview. It's going into Renfield's mind and trying to find Vanessa's whereabouts with Dracula. What did you think of this?
I really liked it. I thought the whole use of the cane as the metronome was really kind of satisfying to me, and it really, like, building the scene around the cane, I thought was a really smart choice from the director, and just having that steady pulsing and then her kind of lulling him into it. I thought it worked very well.
Yeah, I love the way that they shot that. I also love how we see Renfield just fully in creep mode with his makeup, and that beginning scene though with him and Dr. Seward when he was listening to Vanessa's tapes and, and then he ate the frogs. That was, you guys would have appreciated. I was cringing and like couldn't look at the screen. So many frogs, by the way. What?
I hate swarms of things. Like, I don't have a lot of fears, but that's
God.
way up there, and I don't like it. And there were so many swarms in this episode.
So many frogs, guys.
I'm not afraid of frogs or rats, for that matter. I just thought of...
You wouldn't
like,
be scared if there were that many frogs coming out of
I'd
your
be
drink.
creeped out, but like I'd be like, ew, what are you all doing here? I mean, I grew up with a pond. I had like 50 frogs in my backyard throughout the whole spring, but that's another story. Frogs don't bother me. But I think the darkness and how they shot it, we had the rats and the frogs. It felt like a plague, like the 10 plagues, of Egypt. Let my people go. That whole scheme. But I think it was just, the symbolism of dark creatures of the night.
Great job, but
nasty, especially Renfield biting.
Oh my gosh, he did such a great job playing that though. He got so creepy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love all of the interactions with Renfield this episode just gave me goosebumps. He was
so
such a freak.
I mean, and we were all watching the second episode together, and when they kind of move into the butcher shop with all those bodies, great job, set deck.
Oh my gosh.
I literally audibly gasped, and I like gore a lot, so I was really, but half-eaten bodies and holes in the blood and like just all from hooks. It was so much in one shot, and I was just like, oh god,
I know. It's a lot to take in.
But it was amazing. And did anybody notice Dr. Seward was with him there? It really, she read the sign. He didn't say out loud what the place was, and she saw it, and I'm like, witchiness?
Is this your power?
Is this what's happening?
It's a cognitive interview. I mean, we talked about it when Dr. Seward went into Vanessa's mind with the whole flashback of Banning's
she
clinic.
Was there,
she was there in the same
but
way.
she was there, but not, and Vanessa was dictating everything she saw. Whereas Renfield dictated everything he saw, but the sign, she read the sign. Like, Dr. Seward was there with him, read a sign and said, I know where he is.
But Dr. Seward lives there in London, so maybe she did just know the location.
I swear she looked at
We may never know.
Witchiness.
But
I stand by that.
The whole reason for this, cognitive interview more so was to find out the physical location of where Vanessa was. And
they
we
did
realized it was at the slaughterhouse.
What a lovely
Very
location.
fitting. Very, very fitting. But simultaneously, when that's happening, we had Ethan and Katane in the streets finding the night creatures, both wolfing out.
Yeah.
I did not see that coming.
We should have known.
She's
That's
been
the thing.
so distrusting of Kentane for so long.
I still don't like him, to be honest with you. And it made me so angry, or so much more angry at him, I guess, that he was the reason that Ethan turned into a wolf. Yes, you can be like, oh, but Renee, this made him save the... No, listen to me, guys. If he was never a wolf and him and Vanessa met, maybe, just maybe, they could have had a happy relationship.
Vanessa would have
from the
devoured him
beginning.
if he was not a wolf. She would have consumed and spit
We
him
don't
out.
know that. She had that beautiful imagination.
If
and
he
them
wasn't
two
a wolf,
together.
would he have gone to England?
I mean,
The thing that brought them together was his wolfiness.
we don't know that. Maybe there's a lot of reasons to go to England. People
Friend.
love traveling.
I love you, but no.
Okay, so we do have the whole reveal that Katane is also a wolf. The reason why Ethan is a werewolf. And the reason why Ethan just beasted out and killed so many innocent souls. So, I mean, it was to be expected that Ethan was going to be severely pissed off.
Mm-hmm.
Very warranted, very warranted. But that fight was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, it was a great fight.
Dope.
Cool fight. Yeah,
Dude.
for sure. They're so badass. I love them.
They're amazing. And them fighting together felt really natural.
They
I
felt
know.
in sync.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Like-
love the time, the pressure they do with the clouds and the full moon, because you know it's there, you know it's coming, but you're like waiting for it. So good.
It was like synchronized fighting.
Yeah.
A new category in the Olympics. That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
I liked it. I think it finally got to that point where the audience can understand and now get both of them on the same level. Like, all right, we're both angry. We understand. Now let's just fight. Like, all right, let's look forward.
They had a couple
and
of really long fight scenes.
They
I
did.
And they worked out
know.
really well.
Really excellently shot. Wow. So everyone pretty much just bands up now, and now they go to the slaughterhouse, which for production looked really cool, really dark, but it looked like the Grand Guignol repurposed.
Which I'm
Like, they
sure that it
redressed it.
was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
I got that
redressed
same
it.
feeling too.
I do have to say, though, in that scene with Ethan and Katane in the sewer, why were they walking in the water? There were two sides without water. They're like, no, let's make noise and let's get
This
wet.
is gonna be like the Titanic door. Room over Rose. God damn it.
There was space on that door, you guys.
I just don't know. I mean, they didn't want to be quiet, clearly. I
Right?
thought
We're
they
just gonna
wanted
make
to, like,
loud
sneak around.
sloshing
They're like,
noises on the side.
Like, there's two areas for you both to
It's the
walk on
least
without
of their
getting wet.
worries.
Also, you don't know what's in there. Plague.
I know.
Get
You
on
could have
the...
gotten sick. There could have been a fungus. You know, you got to be careful.
I agree
Ethan.
with you. Use
Thanks.
the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Stay out of the gutter.
Okay. But they all get to the slaughterhouse. And they actually meet up with Victor. Very convenient. So literally the whole gang's back together.
Yeah, what a coincidence.
Yay.
He just went through this whole thing.
was
Now
like,
he's like, well, I guess I'll save Vanessa
That's-
too.
How did you end up at the slaughterhouse, Victor?
Where were you
Did
going?
they meet at the slaughterhouse or did he meet at the hospital? Because I thought that they were interrogating Renward.
Oh,
Renfield.
Renfield, thank you.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right. The whole... Yeah, okay. No, you're right. But they meet up with Victor.
It is
I mean,
convenient.
he's not the greatest
What a
fighter, but he
coincidence.
tried. It was a valiant effort. And they pretty much take on Dracula and his night creatures, those vampires.
Oh, man.
Awesome fight scene.
So
Yeah.
cool.
First of all, Catriona is so badass.
She's so
Give
She
her
can
her own
fight.
show. Give her
She
her
can
own
fight.
show.
Can she stay forever?
Forever and ever. Her hair, her parkour skills,
So
her,
parkour.
like straight razor blades, all of it just gave me full energy in life, and I'm so devoted to her now. Like,
I love her.
give
Boom.
Kat her own show. I'll be there.
Boom.
Backtracking for 1 second with Catriona and Sir Malcolm when they were talking earlier on, did you feel sexual
I felt
tension?
the love.
Really?
I felt
No.
it.
I did, And I didn't with Jekyll and Victor, but I felt it with these two characters. Maybe I'm off.
There was a lot of cheeky discussion with them. A lot of like I don't even know what to call it sexual yet. It's more of just interest
like
of two powerful people.
Like playful.
When two powerful people meet and they're like, oh, I see you.
Oh,
I see how you are.
What a
All right.
challenge.
Yeah. So future relationship possible. I would ship that.
I'd ship it.
Totally.
I liked how she was flirting with Renfield just to get answers, though.
I know.
Oh, my
Like,
goodness.
she brought on her sexy side. I was like, all right, if that's how you get information from anybody, sure.
Sure, do it.
Bring
we
it,
love
cat.
you. You're perfect in every way.
That makes her character even cooler.
I know.
But kind of sad. I mean, if you think about the time period that they are in, like women selling their bodies for money and, you know, a way of living, but she's kind of like, granted, this was like a whole play on her, but like to kind of try to play around with his emotions just to get answers, kind of low, but kind of cool.
Yeah.
Just the way she executed.
Yeah.
Really cool.
No,
I liked it.
She can stick around. If she can be a regular, I'm all for it.
I love her.
I'm all for it.
I'm so for it.
I mean, and she's the only woman right now who can fight. I mean, we had Dr. Seward with a gun.
oh,
God love her.
The New Yorker.
New Yorker.
Oh, I love when she
Oh,
said
so
that line.
good.
Oh, she's the
So
greatest.
delicious.
I know. She's fearless. She does not care.
No, she's
I've
like,
never seen her scared though. Even when she was trying to tell Renfield to get out of her office, it was just like, you should leave now. There's no like, oh, maybe you should go. She's just so confident. She's such a strong woman.
I feel like
love
her fight or flight instinct is just fight.
I agree.
Like, I'm not
More
gonna
just
run away
fight.
from you. I'm
Where am I
scared, but
gonna
I'm
go?
gonna fight you. Like, lace up. We got things to do.
Right? She's a gun-toting badass woman.
Totally.
Mhm.
So like she can pick your brain, and she can shoot your brains out. So there you go. She's a force to be reckoned with. We'll say that.
Great.
Awesome fighting.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, I can't say it enough. I mean, we had Ethan and Sir Malcolm. You know that they can fight. Victor, he had a valiant effort.
He
He
did.
tried.
I mean, he's not the greatest fighter, but
He didn't
was
die,
there.
so.
No, he
You
didn't.
know, he held his own.
He didn't.
Had a little trouble reloading that gun, but he got there.
He got
Yes.
it, guys.
All right, what do you think of Dracula during all of this going down? He seems like the most jealous boyfriend.
Oh my gosh, I know when he's like, she's not yours, she's mine. Like, calm down, Dracula.
I kind of expected all this talk we've had about his human form and, you know, night creatures. I was like, transformation? Transformation? No, you're just going to stay vulnerable in your human form? And granted, we did get to see him fight, which was pretty cool, but I really would have liked to see him, like, turn into the dragon and be some other vicious, vile kind of creature.
Right. And
Yeah.
he stayed in his human form, and I was expecting him to be killed in his human.
Me too, but we didn't know he could just dodge bullets like that. I mean, they were trying to
Well,
shoot
we
him.
know
and
he
kept
can
just-
run fast.
Yeah, but I mean, every bullet dodge, it obviously was not an easy task to try to shoot Dracula, which I was thinking it would just be like a and then done. But I'm naive, so.
Well, it was actually kind of cool. He had his moment of fighting, just literally knocking the crap out of everybody.
Oh, yeah.
So
Like,
oh my gosh, and when he
don't
kept
mess-
throwing Ethan, like throwing
Oh my
Ethan.
god. We were upset.
Yeah, we were like,
a
don't
little
touch
upset.
Ethan!
I don't know if that was like, Ethan, you can't die. Get up.
Don't kill Ethan.
Wolf out. Now is
Well,
the
yeah,
time.
that's what I kept saying. I was like, Wolf out. Come on. I know it's not full moon. Just do it.
And I think that is a testament to the editing, because when we saw Dracula fighting and whatnot and Ethan running, I thought he was going to go up to the top and literally get like a high point of advantage and shoot him. Nope. He was going to get Vanessa.
Oh, I figured, yeah, especially when he was like kind of sneaking up the stairs. I was like, yeah, he's gonna go find his girl.
All right. So he does find the girl in the candle room. Vanessa in what was seemingly grayish white gown.
Beautiful gown.
Gorgeous. I mean, Eva Green is gorgeous anyway in anything that she wears. I think it was interesting that they chose gray.
Yeah,
We don't know if she's good or bad.
and she's in a very white, neutral space of nothing.
She's literally
where
there.
nothing can touch her.
Where there's so many candles. So many candles. How
That poor
long did it
PA.
take them to light? I know, right? Like, hold on. I got it, guys.
I mean, how many PAs did they have to hire for that?
How many PAs does it take to light a room full of candles?
Beautifully. Oh my god, it's just gorgeous. The overhead shot of
I know.
how they placed the camera in a circle of candles.
And it looked so much like her room when she was in the asylum.
A little bit. The white walls and all that. Yeah, that's very true. So Ethan goes to Vanessa. And what do you think of Vanessa's whole speak, like, her speech more so is like, it has to end. This is my life, pretty much. It's like, anywhere I go, this is going to follow me. It has to end.
Depressing, speechless. That's, I hated that because as much as, yes, it is kind of true. I mean, you never know what the future holds for you. And maybe if they killed Dracula, I mean, who else is going to go after her at this point? I mean, and also keeping good influences around you and marrying Ethan. There could have been really happy things in her future.
And I wonder what her original plan was, if this is how she thought it would go, because she says when he enters the room, this is harder than I thought it would be to see you. And I know she meant that just like in this moment, this is hard, or if she had planned this all along. Like, her state of mind is such a question to us. For the first time, I think, in the entire series, we always kind of know where Vanessa's at and what she's thinking and where she wants to go. But here in these moments, did she plan to be with Dracula so she could get Ethan back here to kill her? Did in seeing Ethan, did she go, oh, well, this will be my release. This is how I get out?
I feel like she just gave in to Dracula, accepting that is who she was or who she thought she was. And then when she found out they were coming after her, she knew what she had to do, because obviously she wasn't going to kill Ethan. And since she is in between the good and the evil, she knew that the only way, or thought that the only way to end all of this would be to kill herself, or to have someone kill her.
Yeah. My battle must end, or there will never be peace on Earth. So she was very well aware. But I loved how Ethan like had to reassure her. It's like, you were never alone. I know during all these times she felt alone, but she was never alone.
Yeah.
And with a kiss, with love. And then Ethan shoots her
in the gut, which is the worst place to be shot. We know this. Ethan,
it can happen. I mean, like, she could, like, have organ failure and whatnot.
No, I'm just saying it takes a really long time to die from a bullet to the gut. Like, it's not about, like, you will die eventually. It just takes forever. Like, you just so few inches from her heart.
More logical about it.
He's a killer. He's, like, been in the army. He knows where to aim.
I put in my notes, it's a flesh wound, guys. It's just a flesh wound. Because, you know, I'm trying to stay positive here.
I was waiting for someone to interrupt them. I was just waiting. I was like, no. Kill her, and then...
I thought the prayer was it. I thought, like, I'm gonna kill you with this prayer, and I'm gonna help you see that, like, because the whole prayer is about redemption, and about, like, I don't have to be led into temptation, and I can be delivered from evil. I thought that was what was happening, and that, and her reciting the words back to him, that they had reached some understanding. So when the gun went off, I was like, no, we were there, damn it.
So do you think Vanessa was saved? Because I mentioned it in the last after show that she would find her faith again. Seems like she did a little bit. Because, I mean, she was even reminiscing about the girl who used to pray about the cross. Like, when she took the crucifix off and burnt it and put it in the fire, that's when she lost herself. And she was
I thought it was interesting that she no longer thought of herself as Vanessa. Because she says, when did we lose her?
Third person.
Yeah. And so, to me, it seemed like she had never lost it. She just completely lost herself and had become something else.
Yeah, I can get that. Oh, gosh. I mean, we do know she found her faith again just by the last moments that she was with us, and she said that she saw the Lord. What a sad scene, guys. I don't know. I can't get over it. I'm just kind of heartbroken. It's just coming out.
No, I think we all are. I'm still trying to process what's going on. I'm like, what?
There was a good 5 minutes of shock after the end. I don't know how people in the audience felt, but like when it was like the end and there was just such a long... They held the end for so long, like maybe a good 15 seconds, where you're just like...
I was tearing up when they put the end. I was like, no.
Waiting for a question mark. I was like, give it to me. I live in the land of sequels. Like, I'm totally fine with question mark. Like, yeah, I'll be back next season. And now, no.
Oh, my God. Okay, so the whole funeral for Vanessa. First of all, Dracula's still alive.
Yeah.
It's sad that Vanessa's gone. And we do learn that Vanessa was the reason... that Dracula was the reason why Mina turned, just to get Vanessa. Now, both of them are gone. and oh my gosh, these names. And Dracula is now gone, but he's still alive.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess he lost his mother of evil, so he'll just
For now.
chill.
He did. So Vanessa's funeral, sad. Even before that, the whole light comes out. The fog clears.
Mm-hmm.
What a bad
And
time
the
for
light
lighting.
comes out.
That one moment, I just want the clowns to stay there. I wanted the darkness.
No, but
Vanessa just
lifted.
died,
I think it
guys.
was like a visual representation that Vanessa has gone to heaven and she's shining down on them and looking over them, and her spirit is there. It's like literally there's literally that one ray of sunshine, figuratively and visually.
Because now it's for the first time she can be at peace. First time
Yeah.
in so long. She doesn't have to worry. She doesn't have to be stressed. She doesn't have to fear that she's going to hurt everyone within arm's reach. Like, I am happy that Vanessa was able to choose her own end. And instead of her funeral, it was nothing worth for me was when John Clare showed up. I was like, God, no, John.
No.
Your last friend and probably the person he was going to turn to for comfort.
Yeah, he lost everyone
All
this
of them gone.
episode.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh my gosh.
John Clare at the end. And I think it was actually very, very fitting that John Clare was the last one to be at the... Yeah, or was the last one to be at her tombstone.
Yeah.
Because as monstrous as you want to call him, that he started, he became the most human being on the show.
Totally.
Yeah.
And the fact that he lost his one and only friend, sad. It was just a sad story all around.
Heavy.
Are you okay with, if this, because we do see the whole, the end title of the show, of the episode, are you okay if this was the end? Like, truly the end? How they wrapped it, just characters and storylines, are you okay with this ending?
Yeah, I really felt like this whole show feels like a book. It feels like a novel, which it should. It's based off Penny Dreadfuls. And this felt like closing the book. It was hard. You feel like you've left an entire world behind, but it also feels completed. Like, the story, you could always tell more story, but it feels like this has ended, and I'm comfortable with saying goodbye to the show on that note. I think that it was such a solid bow out from the entire creative team. It's one of my favorite endings to a show in a long time. Was it perfect? No, but I thought it was pretty close. I thought it was really great, and I'm okay saying goodbye to it at this point.
Okay.
I'm trying not to let my emotions take over about it and just have just an opinion on it being an ending to the show that it was, and it does make sense, and I don't think they could have ended it in a happy way. And I mean, considering Vanessa is always having some evil chase after her, this was probably inevitable. Doesn't mean it didn't break my heart. Doesn't mean I would still hope that, I wish that the writers wrote like an alternate ending for just me and everyone else that cried during this episode. And, just bring Vanessa back to life for a second.
Or, I liked your idea of giving the flashback to, what was it, season
Yeah,
1 or 2, where she has that, like,
the
imaginary
Ethan.
life with Ethan?
Yeah, I wanted that to be what she went up to. I wanted that to be, like, her heaven, per se, because leave it just on, like, a little bit of a happy note. I mean, I get why they ended it the way they did, but it just broke my heart.
You gotta remember, just the title, Dreadful.
I know.
And it really goes with the whole theme and tonality of what these stories are. They are very dark and grim, and generally don't have happy endings. They have very dark endings.
Yeah.
So, but I think storyline and just how they wrote each character, they seem like they actually wrapped up everybody. Because where else would they go if they were to continue with the season 4, which we know Showtime has not picked them up for season 4 yet. But if all these characters and stories did continue, where would they go?
I mean, I liked in the chat somebody was saying, like, oh, John Clare could just dig her up right there, but we already know John Clare feels about bringing... But we know how John Clare feels about bringing people back, so I would probably say no to that. If he didn't want to bring back his son, I don't think he's going to want to put Vanessa through the same struggles. We know that Malcolm and Sir Ethan are not going... I'm sorry, Ethan and Sir Malcolm aren't going anywhere. They've decided to kind of stay and tough it out, which I'm so proud of Malcolm. Malcolm always runs. He's always on the fly. And for him to say, you know what, I need to stay here and figure things out, I thought was such a strong character moment for him. Stories that could continue. Victor's story has a lot of like what might happen next. Again, this chapter wrapped up beautifully, but if they wanted to continue, they could do that. We already talked about Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde would be a great character to follow. I don't know what Kat does, but it has to do with death, and if she wants to go to Egypt and like uncover mummies, I'm there for that. Or like wherever she wants to go, I would show up for that show. But no, I think that again, this portion of the story feels closed, and the way they ended it is so great that I think to bring it back would undo a lot of the hard work that they've done.
I mean, I agree too, because if you think about it, they didn't really set up a big bad villain for the next season, because if they were to continue, they would have already hinted at something is coming and something is looming in the future. So we didn't get that. We even said goodbye to Lyle a couple episodes ago too. So, you know, a lot of characters have left or have wrapped up. So I don't want to say it, but it does feel like a series ending.
Yeah. One of the red flags for me also that I don't feel like there'll be a season 4 is that Vanessa was kind of the motivation for so many of the storylines. And then even with just like some characters like John Clare, who just had his family for all of his motivations and what was the storyline, all of those are wrapped up. And now that we don't have Vanessa, what would Sir Malcolm do that would make a series? Or with Ethan even, I mean, they could recreate a whole new story, but as of what the show is and what any story has been, I don't see the motivation for it to continue to a season 4. Yeah. Especially because they said the end.
They did to the end.
They did say
and in the chat, they had mentioned that they went over to the Penny Dreadful YouTube page and saw that they had listed this as the series finale. So it does seem pretty finite.
Yes, unfortunate. I mean, like, all great things must come to an end. It was just surprising that came to us, the end, because we haven't read any like news or publications that this was the end.
Can we talk about the TV history moment of this? I don't think that, I mean, we've had shows that are like unduly canceled, but there's usually a lot of like surprise headline, like they're canceled and no more. Nothing. So like that whole cast and crew had to keep so tight and mum about this for God knows how long. And I think it's kind of a credit to them that they got it this far and then to do such a beautiful ending. Sad and depressing, but beautiful nonetheless. I think it's quite an accomplishment.
Yeah,
I can agree.
I think one story that I would love to see as a spinoff, this is hopeful, Lyle and Catriona in Egypt.
Do it. I'll be there.
Because we know Lyle went to Egypt to study Imhotep, so there you go.
Could be a good show, guys. We'll be
there. That's pretty much the whole season. Real quick, favorite moment of the season.
Ooh. Of the season?
Of the season. Or like of the show.
Oh gosh.
My favorite moment of the show is I cannot remember what the doctor's name was before she was a doctor, when she was the witch.
Joan Clayton.
Yes. Joan in the shack, that one episode to me is still the pinnacle of this series. It is so beautifully shot. It is such an insight into Vanessa, deeper than we had ever had before. And I think it just spoke volumes to what the show was capable of. And I can go back and watch it anytime, anywhere. I love that episode.
Mm-hmm. I have two favorite moments. One is with Vanessa, and yes, it's the vision she had of her and Ethan together.
It's
I love
a beautiful
that. I'm
moment.
so sorry.
No
it's
shame.
Just so happy.
No
and then
shame.
My second
Beautiful.
one, thanks. My second one, I just love Lily. Everyone knows I love Lily, and just that scene with when they had all of the women at the dinner table, and she gave that speech, and she took the champagne glass. Loved that entire scene.
Lily and Dorian dancing in blood is also a highlight.
Yeah. So good. One of my definitely two of my favorite moments. Seance. In season 1, that like really set the bar. I was like, holy crap, Penny Dreadful is such an amazing show.
Yeah.
Great acting from Eva Green. And then one of my favorite episodes was Sisters from season 1. That just like encompasses all of Vanessa's storyline and why and who she is and how she started and like everything.
This is the story where we see Mina, where she slept with Mina's fiance. Yes, great episode.
Okay, great show.
Excellent show.
It's been such a pleasure hosting this.
It's so hard to say goodbye.
If this is the ending, I hate to like. Don't be sad that it's over, but be happy that it happened.
Yeah.
In the meantime, where can everyone keep following you?
Hey guys, I'm Renee Ariel, and you can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Renee Ariel.
Hi guys, I'm Joelle Monique. You can find me all over the internet at Joelle Monique. Check me out on Black Girl Nerds this week for my review of Finding Dory and soon to come The Shallows.
Oh, and you can follow me on Twitter at Serafini TV. You can follow all of us here on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all those fun social media platforms at AfterBuzz TV. Thank you everyone who's been watching all these seasons, all these episodes, who's been joining the live chat, all your comments and predictions. You guys are fantastic. Such a great audience to talk to. It's been a pleasure hosting the show. And yep, that's the end. And I hope this isn't the ending, but for now, we will see you later.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.